Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the 23rd anniversary of September 11th. I still don't think we've seen anything quite like September 11th since this day 23 years ago. People asking would I do a video on it. I did a live stream last year on the anniversary. I know I haven't done a September 11th video in a while. I've been hit with some demonetization, honestly, with those videos, unfortunately. You're right. George Bush had the highest approval rating we've ever seen, really, after September 11th. It's truly amazing. I mean, I think it was like 84%, 85%, just unbelievable. What's your survival strat? Well, you have to. That's too vague. You have to tell me which building I'm in. You got to tell me which building. You'd have to treat each building differently. You have to understand the South Tower would have been, there's a legitimate option with the South Tower. The North Tower is a lot harder. You're waiting on me to finish my updates on the Tinder buy? I don't have a Tinder, bro. Oh, man. What's up, man? What's going on? Welcome. Kamala said January 6th was worse than 9/11. Well, no, what they'll say is she said it was an attack on democracy. That's why. That's the qualifier. You understand that that's what they'll say. They'll say, well, because she said it was on democracy, technically, the Civil War was about that. 9/11 was not a democracy thing. It was a just attack on our country. I'm just telling you what they'll say. But can you pick a photo of the Twin Towers to draw? I don't think I would draw very well. What's my 9/11 memory? I don't have a memory. The only thing I know is I was around 2 years old. So it's hard. Everyone's gonna ask me for my memory. It's a letdown. Should I make something up? Dude, Schumer is brutal. Yeah, I saw Biden put on the hat. But I mean, did you see how he got kind of tricked into it? You kind of feel bad for him. I don't know if you saw that video, but he kind of it was like a unity thing. He wanted to show unity, and there were a bunch of old guys there who were Trump supporters. And they were being nice to him. Sorry for calling you a Russian supporter. I was emotional when I sent the super chat. Also, did you hear about the claim of Haitians eating pets? Well, of course I heard about that claim. You were a bud. You sent about. I mean, let's at least make sure we're clear here on the record. You sent multiple super chats on different days saying that I was going to move to Russia. Which, I mean, listen, you can say whatever you want. It's just kind of a strange thing. Charlie Kirk Jubilee video. If you guys want me to react to that, I will. But I do want to talk about September 11th if we can do that first. But that video was crazy, man. Yeah, I think maybe you guys would probably like me reacting to videos. It's probably more fun than me just trying to talk to chat. You believe it was an organized crime? Well, from everything I know, we're not going to really know if it was. We're not going to know the extent at which how it happened and who knew what, and the FBI and the CIA, and they knew that the cells were in the United States. But you have to understand, it's very hard to eliminate an issue like that, because if you're the FBI and you tip off one of the cells, it's a big problem. But they did know some of the terrorists were in the United States. That's correct. There's a lot of footage on 9/11. There is actually a ton of footage on 9/11 because it's like, I mean, it's the perfect storm of horrible. Everyone is filming the one tower burning, and then the plane hits. I mean, there's like 400 angles because everyone is filming it. There's only 3 angles. Well, you could argue there's 4. 3 to 4 angles of the first plane getting hit. Obviously, the main one. Everyone knows the main one. It's been upscaled. I had an old Rumble account that I posted it. I upscaled it. You have 2 smaller channels. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to message me on Discord or email me. If you want me to maybe. Wow, guys, this is a lot of comments here. We'll make videos on other hijackers. You know the one hijacker, the dude looks like I think he was a lead pilot. I don't remember. I don't know his name. Well, I do know his name, but it's hard to pronounce. But he was like the lead pilot. The dude looked like he was 50 years old. He was 20, or maybe he wasn't a lead pilot, but the dude was 23. It's crazy. Survival strat on the top floors of the South Tower. Well, you got to find the ones. Well, listen, it's impossible to say because we don't know the debris field. But I'm not gonna be an asshole about it. All you have to do is find the one stairwell that is in operation, because in the South Tower there was one stairwell that was still there. So the way it got hit on its side, the South Tower got hit at an angle. That's why it fell quicker, because all of the weight sagged to the one side. So it's easy. But honestly, again, we don't know exactly where the debris field is, because technically there could be people up there that they couldn't even access the stairwell just because there's other debris blocking it, even though the stairwell is open. So it's impossible to say. We may never know. Well, you want to know another thing? Like, dude, what about this assassination attempt? How crazy is this? Like, some kid just, I don't want to get into this, but it's just like the stuff that they just don't tell anyone about. It's just crazy. Like, I mean, almost as bad as January 6th. Whew. Well, they probably hate this day because it takes away from January 6th. I liked how Trump and Kamala put differences aside and shook hands. Again, we need more unity. Yeah, I mean, people were liking this. They like this. Dude, look at that. He just sticks out, doesn't he? That's nice to see. And there's some unity right there. Did you do a video on Flight 93's flight path? After watching you, kind of confirmed my belief that as 9/11 was happening, I seen that flight flying over Hubbard, Ohio, a small town on the Ohio-Pennsylvania line. Well, it depends. There's certainly, you can look up flight paths of it. The plane turned over Cleveland, believe it or not. Flight 93 did. They turned it real late. Those hijackers were obviously not all the way in because they waited too long. Well, Flight 93 was doomed from the start because there was like a 15-minute delay. You guys know when you're on an airplane and before you take off, you're just sitting there for like 30 minutes. That's what happened to that flight, I think. It was just sitting for like 30 minutes. And they waited. It got up into cruising altitude. That's when they were supposed to take it over. They waited an extra 30 minutes and then took it over. They were supposed to take that flight over probably in Pennsylvania or even before they got to Pennsylvania, and they didn't take it over until Ohio. Couldn't you use an elevator? No, the elevators were all blown out. The elevators were all... Some of the elevators, people thought, and this is another thing, people thought that there were explosions inside the buildings. And look, I wasn't there, but what I can say is a lot of it was elevator shafts free falling down and banging onto the floor. I saw a video that said a terrorist was not allowed into the United States and Atta's rental car was at the airport. At this time, one hijacker was stopped. Well, yeah, they were able to recover Atta's rental car. It was a piece of shit. You can look it up. From New York, it's hard for me. Yeah, 9/11 was such a horrible, horrible event. Yeah, Freedom Tower. It seems like you only come once a year into my streams. I appreciate it for the 9/11 remembrance live stream. You haven't been around recently, but it's understandable. You got to get out of your hibernation. You watched a documentary where the U.S. was informed of an attack using planes was coming. Well, there's some crazy stuff about some crazy stuff with Condoleezza Rice and Bush and her warning Bush about an attack like that. They knew it was very possible. I mean, they had a G2 summit where they had to shut it down or lock down or something because of they thought someone hijacked a plane the prior summer. So there was a lot of stuff going around. Where's Bush, Clinton, and Obama? Well, they're not, to be fair, they're not, modern politicians. These are modern politicians here, to be honest. Because Biden currently technically is the president. You've got Trump, Vance. Where's Waltz, though? They've just frozen Waltz out, it looks like. They're too embarrassed. I heard a World Trade Center maintenance worker talk about explosives in the basement prior to the planes almost synced up just prior to the plane impact. I don't believe the explosives are real, to be honest with you. I have done a lot of research on it personally. The explosives, it just seems, if you watch the towers fall in HD, it's very unlikely that people are like, well, the way the towers collapse, no, that's just the way concrete falls on top of each other. It pancakes on top of each other. If you watch the way the South Tower falls, it falls at the impact zone. It doesn't fall because of an explosive. It falls because it's sagging. Where was Waltz? Yeah, you want to play the video. It's just them smiling. This is typical politics. And there's some obnoxious person just screaming Trump's name. This is typical politics. Vance with the eyeliner. I mean, listen, I'll be honest with the liberals. It does look like he has eyeliner. I'll give liberals that, but I don't think he wears it. Do you think the events after 9/11 would be different? If I don't think anything drastically would be. What do you mean, like in terms of us with the TSA and everything? I don't think much would be crazy different. What's your thoughts on why George W. Bush is the only other living Republican? Well, because they're rhinos, man. I mean, there's a lot of old ass Republicans that don't like Trump. Think about it. They feel he's taken their party from them. Like, look at the young rhino. Like the perfect young baby rhino is Paul Ryan, and his career got nuked by Trump. The short dude between Trump and Biden. Bloomberg, yes. Use the emergency brakes on what? Am I going to do college football streams every Saturday? I would say I'll do them at around 9 o'clock every Saturday, basically. Probably. Bloomberg looks just like a little boy. That's the problem with being 5'3". No, I'm not going to height shame anyone. Bloomberg might be taller than me. I don't know. I'm 5'10 and a half. He looks like a boy. Well, how tall is Biden, or is this a double? Who is Harris talking to? Are you talking about Schumer? Yeah, it's Schumer. The cockroach. Thoughts on BYU and Cuse this year? BYU football? I don't know. I don't think they're going to be very good. Syracuse could be good. They've got an easy schedule. Remember when your political vids were your least popular? Well, it's understandable when you introduce a new genre to your channel. You know, my 9/11 videos normally always did well. Those videos are very strange how they work because they're evergreen videos. So sometimes, actually, when I started to release a lot of the 9/11 videos, they would a few times I would get like a lot of views right away. So I'd get like 50K views in the first 3 days. Then they kind of flatline for a few months, and then they just shoot up randomly. Like that's the thing with YouTube that's very strange that people wouldn't think. They'd think, well, you'd just be getting like 3,000 views every day, but you'll have videos that'll get like 50K in the first 3 days, and then they'll do nothing. They'll flatline, what we call it, and they'll get like 100 views a day for like 4 months, and then one day 3,000 views. The next day 5,000 views. The next day 7,000 views, 8,000, and it just keeps going. And I had a few videos with mainly also Titanic videos, a few Titanic videos, but mainly September 11th videos do that because it's just it's an evergreen topic, so it doesn't matter what time you post it. It's people are gonna watch it. It's not like a political thing, like reviewing the debate. That's not gonna get nobody's gonna care about that in a month. Crenshaw is the new Rhino that will last a while. Yeah, you know what? I saw him on Bill Maher. He was on Bill Maher recently. Start doing videos about the U.S. effort to capture Bin Laden. You know, I saw a map of how they captured him, like his impound. It is interesting. DeSantis' Youngkin ticket would feed families. Well, Youngkin hasn't been put through the political ringer. Why isn't Pence there? You're taking a shot at Mike Pence. Come on. Mike Pence. Remember, Trump supporters got pissed Mike Pence didn't endorse Trump. Why is Bloomberg there? Because it's in NYC. I had a video with 5 views like 9 months ago that randomly just got 10K views. That's crazy. If the towers did not collapse, they would control demolition of the towers. The interiors of the towers would be so damaged and burned, they would have to control demolition them. I've got several videos about that. You think the muted mics hurt Trump in this debate? I don't know. I think the moderators really stepped in anyways. Yo, earlier when I asked to pick a photo, draw a photo of the Twin Towers at night. That's what I would say. I do have Buffalo tomorrow night. I know Biden put the Trump hat on. Just a funny little moment on the campaign trail. Where were you on that day? I was actually I was 1 year. Wait, I was 1 year old actually. Yeah, so I would have been 1 year old. So I don't know. Do you think Biden put the hat on purpose? Or was it to stick? No, dude, I don't think it was that. Biden, I think he just did it because they told him to, and they were all old guys. And Biden is. I know we want Biden to have vengeance, but he's just too old to even care. I think you should do a video on the only Medal of Honor ever recorded on video. It was John Chapman in Afghanistan. It's crazy footage. I'll have to look that up. Well, we only asked the moderators to be fair, and it's clear they weren't. So it's unfortunate. Was Rudy Giuliani at the memorial? I do not. I do not know. I didn't pay that much attention to it. Yeah, you want to see Biden with the hat? The old people got him to do it. Dark Brandon. This is what they meant when they said Dark Brandon. It was probably a double. Well, yeah. I mean, I think he was visiting firefighters though in New York City. New York City. So was Trump. I saw Trump doing it as well. Your daughter's birthday is tomorrow. She was born the day after the 1 year anniversary. 9/12. Wow. Lots of people's in their yeah, pretty much no one in their 20s would remember it. Honest, well, it would be hard to, because what you could be like 6 years old and still in your 20s, I guess. Yeah, he did call him an old fart, but it was a joking way. What is Kamala's body count? That's impossible for me to guess. I don't know. Have I heard of? I don't think I've heard of him. You know, I did see a video recently on a guy that survived the collapse, the literal collapse of the South Tower, and then made it out before the North collapsed. I don't know if that's who you're talking about, but there were five or there. I think there were 12 total people that survived the hotel after the South Tower collapsed. Because when the South Tower collapsed, it fell on top of the hotel and it cut it in half. But there were still rooms that were okay. People were able to survive and get out. Swing state breakdown post debate. I mean, maybe, dude. You got to admit, I would just be drawing it out for views. I mean, what would be different? But I mean, listen, maybe I'll do it. You're adorable. I mean, I've got, you know, I'm an attractive person. I can't lie. Do you think the CIA had any involvement in 9/11? Well, no, I think they've admitted Saudi Arabia did. They've admitted it. They've already released documents on it. The CIA is a little bit harder. Listen, from the documents that I know, it's impossible to say yes or no with the CIA. We know the CIA knew there were some terrorists in the country, but it's more complicated than that. You can't just apprehend them. That's not how you deal with cells. It's very delicate, but the CIA and FBI did know. Biden truly despises Kamala. I mean, I'd love that to be true. I don't know. I feel like it's just kind of a narrative. I mean, I just don't think Biden can really think for himself anymore at this point. Maybe he does. I'm sure Jill does. Jill probably hates Kamala. They probably bitched each other out at Camp David. The guy was in the North Tower in the stairwell. Yeah, no. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about there were several people that survived in that stairwell. There's a photos of the stairwell still up. It's the only thing to survive from either of the towers. Well, also the tridents survived. I'm sure you guys have seen the tridents that stayed up. Because when the towers fell, like the tridents were stuck into the ground and it broke and the tridents were staying up. Do you guys know? And I saw this on a Reddit post. I was going to visit this, but it's 2 hours away from me. There are abandoned tridents of the Twin Towers. You know, at the bottom, the tridents. There are abandoned tridents at the that are in a factory, like an abandoned factory in the back of an abandoned factory in Pennsylvania. And there are those massive things that they saved them, but they just didn't know what to do with them. I mean, what do you do with those massive tridents that weigh God knows how much? But there's like 10 of them in an abandoned factory. Maybe I should do a video on it. Will Rogan still have Trump on? I mean, I don't know. It didn't seem like Trump really wanted to go on there, if I'm going to be honest, from what he was saying on Lex Fridman. But, I mean, it seems like Trump is honestly being advised by his son, Barron, on where to go on. So I've been in contact with Barron. I'm good friends with him. We got the Gen Z connection. And so Trump is coming on soon because of my connection. I'm kidding. If I talked to Barron, I would just be like, just tell your dad to change his profile to Dark MAGA. That's what I would tell him. Would you rather date Kamala or Big Mike? I'll take Kamala. What if the towers were hit from the bottom? Well, they you mean an explosion? It's impossible to hit the towers with a plane from the bottom. There's buildings in the way. Dude, I swear to God, how many requests am I going to get for storytime videos? It's every live stream I get 10 requests to do storytime videos. I did do a video, and if the towers were hit at night, Google my name and Twin Towers at night. There's several videos of hypotheticals on if they got hit at night. It would be a lot more scary. Imagine the towers collapsing with all the electricity out at night, and you just, I mean, dude, it would be dark, and then the rubble would be so dark, and the smoke cloud would be dark. It would be horrifying. I mean, it was already really bad. I know people say, oh, it's worse because, like, you've got the sun and the backdrop of the beauty, and then it's just, but at night, it's, with the darkness, it's real bad. I mean, imagine looking at those towers falling as it's just pitch black. They would still have electricity, though. Did you ever go to the 9/11 memorial? I was gonna go in 2020, and then COVID ruined it. You would take it. Yeah, it's impossible to move those things, though, man. And where do you... I would just put it in, like, a shed, honestly. Put it in your shed or something. I mean, I'd want to take one, too, but you can't move them. You need, like, a freaking... like, you need, like, a trailer to move them, seriously. That's how big the tridents are. What if that one plane hit the White House rather than the field in Pennsylvania? It would be very sad, but it wouldn't change much. The horror was always the Twin Towers. The Twin Towers falling. Whether or not... Listen, if the White House got hit, again, it'd be bad, but I don't think it would change much. The towers getting hit and falling, that's always the... That's the double, triple, quadruple whammy. I mean, it's just so... React to the Charlie Kirk thing. Well, I'll react to it at 9 o'clock, all right? So someone remind me. But the thing is, it's like an hour long, so what am I going to do? Just play it? And I mean, I'll react to some of it. I know there was a part with a woman just screaming at Charlie Kirk. I mean, you have to give credit for Charlie Kirk going on there with like 40 college kids like high off of estrogen blockers just freaking yelling at him. Do you think Obama Pelosi ordered Biden to resign for Harris to have incumbency as an October surprise because they have nothing left? Yeah, that's possible. I mean, that's something that people have speculated now for a month because nobody thinks Biden is running the country. So, but I mean, dude, how would that really change things though? That just feels like desperation to me. But they would have to say, well, Biden, he's mentally unable. But it's like, for a month, like, what would she really do? I mean, how is that really shaking anything up? She's still not an incumbent just because she's technically is the president for a month. I just, you know. That man in the Trump hat single-handedly beat Medicare. Yeah, you beat it all right. You beat it to death. Still a great moment. Remember? Wait, I gotta show that one. That one clip. Dude, it's funny how this drama alert doesn't understand that what Trump is doing because they're not they don't know. But
14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
I love when he does the little things like, please. I'm talking. She's just the reaction. The reaction by her. Oh, man. She's like dumbfounded.
She went out.
You knew he was going to say that. I think they said the Tridents weigh 52 tons apiece. Yeah, they're mad. It depends where they cut them, but most of them weigh a ton. Some of them are a little bit smaller. Jubilee fell off. I did used to watch a few videos from them. I thought they were dating, but I don't know. Maybe they got into politics now. They're trying to catch the politics wave. What if Building 7 stayed up? Dude, I think Building 7, you know, it was pretty inconsequential. It was pretty inconsequential to the September 11th event. It's all about the Twin Towers. Remember, Building 7 fell at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 6 hours later. What are my thoughts on Building 7? I mean, I guess my only thoughts would be if they collapsed it, you'd think they would do it right around when both the towers fell. It'd be easier.
Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute, I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Does that sound familiar? Oh my God. Building 7 was proof that it was done by George W. Bush. Dude, that's not true. Even big time conspiracy theorists didn't say it was done by Bush. They said it was done by criminal elements of the United States government. It's very hard to, I mean, you can't, there's no actual undeniable proof that it was done by Bush. You can inference it, but you can't say for sure, oh, it was certainly done based on the proof that we have. Was George Bush at the memorial? I don't think so. Have you seen the movie United 93? Yeah, I've seen both of them, Flight 93, United 93. I think United 93 is the one with that's better. One of them has a way bigger budget. I think it's United. Yeah, it's United. United is better, I think, if you want to watch a 9/11 movie. Yeah, I mean, it might be something to do with Willie Brown, honestly. I mean, because a lot of that stuff happened when she was like 29, 30. Who knows what really happened? Nobody was tracking her back then. There's going to be stuff about her. Do you think there's any legitimacy to what Rogan said, that it was a setup and they had bombs already planted in the tower since the planes couldn't have blown? When did he say that? Did he just say that recently? Or was this like 5 or 6 years ago? I mean, not that it matters, I guess, but I'm just interested. Also, Rogan tends to say it might have. I highly doubt Rogan definitively said they had explosives in the building. Maybe a guest he had on said that. When did you become interested in 9/11? When I saw a post on a site, a random site about a dude climbing down the North Tower trying to survive, and I did a video on it, like not for a few years, but then I did my first 9/11 video like a year and a half ago. Actually, it was during the summer last year, and it was on that, and it got demonetized, but it's still one of my top. It's like got 800, 900K views. Wildest 9/11 conspiracy you've heard? I mean, it's probably that. What was that one? The planes were. Something about the planes being fake or something. I don't know. Some of them just don't even make. Some of them are trolls. They're like the planes were not even real. They were invisible. Are you done doing the storytime videos? No, I'll do a big one soon. Jackson Dart has more touchdowns than incompletions. I'm not surprised. I mean, look at their competition. Do you really think a lot of people will watch the VP debate? Probably not. I mean, more than normal. Yeah, the VP debate is coming up. I saw someone it's October 1st. Someone asked if Flight 93 got shot down. Well, it would make complete sense where they shot where that plane crashed. It was either I won't say it was the biggest luck because there's a lot of fields in Pennsylvania, but it crashed in a completely open area where the protocol would say that's where you shoot a plane down. But I mean, I don't really understand what would be the big holograms. That's it. Yes. What would be the big idea into them keeping that a secret if they shot a plane down? I mean, I guess you could argue, well, that's civilians, but obviously with 9/11 happening, I think everyone would understand shooting a plane down like that. I mean, I don't think it was shot down. There's a small chance of it though, but again, doesn't really change much. What do you think the election map will look like? Similar to Hillary, maybe Trump wins one more state, gets to like 312. I think he got 306 against Hillary. I mean, when it comes to the debate, it seems like Trump. I mean, according to polls, Trump did pretty well. Trump did really well when it comes to the polls. They tried manipulating the debate with Polymarket and the Swift endorsement. Most experts thought at the time the towers. Well, most people thought they would have remained standing. It's a visual thing. Look at the planes compared to the towers. If you look at the planes crashing in, your instinct is probably that it's not going to collapse the towers because the planes are so much smaller than the towers. If the Empire State Building got hit, would it fall? No, it wouldn't. It has a different core, or it very likely would not. Also, it's bigger at the base. Bush definitely has some responsibility. Yeah, just look at his press briefing in September by Condoleezza Rice. I mean, obviously he does. MP, I heard Kamala Harris asked for another debate right after this one. She asked for another debate, so I think they are going to do another debate. There's a conspiracy that Ada is still alive. There's a conspiracy about everything. It doesn't surprise me. Have you seen any news regarding what the RNC is doing to secure election sites? I don't know about election sites. I know there's an F ton of poll watchers now. There's a lot of grassroots poll watchers. It's like a record number, which shouldn't surprise anyone based on what Trump thinks happened in 2020. It's going to be a lot different. He's trying to riz me up. I appreciate that, man. Why do they not make Kamala answer questions? Yeah, that is funny how if you go back to the first question, she just completely avoids it. They're like, why is the economy better under you than it was 4 years ago? And then the first thing that she says, I was born to a middle class family. It was like, what? What kind of a hashtag is that? You want Taylor Swift and Elon? You want that DNA? Why is the incident at the Pentagon least talked about? Well, it's just a weird place to target. You're targeting a horizontal building, and then, I mean, it's pretty impressive that they were able to hit it. I did see that Kamala with the earrings. That was funny. People were like, "Oh, it's the fake earpiece." I think it got community noted, but it is funny. Steven Crowder came up with some website or something for people to monitor poll sites and report suspicious activity. Well, that's doesn't surprise me. Feel like the Swift endorsement was bad timing. I got it. Yeah, no. The debate definitely overshadowed it. They botched that. I think they were worried about the public perception of the debate, so they wanted to make sure that the endorsement would carry her over. But I think it was bad timing as well. The Swift endorsement got completely drowned out, honestly. And plus, also the other thing is, it happened at like 11 o'clock at night. Those things matter, rather than it's like 4 or 5 o'clock or prime time 8 o'clock. It's a little bit different. It just it loses luster quicker. A commercial jet can perform all sorts of maneuvers when there's no concern for passengers. Well, it wasn't necessarily the maneuvers when they hit the Pentagon. It was the fact that they were able to get it close to the ground without skidding onto the ground and still being able to hit it. Wasn't there gold and other? There was a bunch of shit under the towers. There was a boat under the towers that they uncovered from like centuries ago. How do you feel about Kendrick Lamar doing the halftime show? I mean, I don't really have an opinion on that, honestly. How do you think the debate was perceived by independent voters? I think pretty well, actually. Maybe like 55 to 60% of them. Most of them, I think, are probably still, it's not going to convince one way or another. Did you hear her say, oh, Biden? What she was going to say, Obama, and then said Biden? Why would Kamala want another date to deflect questions? I don't know. I mean, it was reported that she demanded another debate, but Trump had already said he was going to do 3 debates. So I think they're going to do another one, hopefully. But the question is, it's definitely not going to be on Newsmax if that's what you're talking about. I mean, there's no way she would go on Newsmax. She can't even go on Fox News. She's too afraid. There's no video footage of a plane hitting up the Pentagon. Well, there is security footage, but it's really bad. There's one security camera. I'm sure you've seen it. Will we ever see those DC gas station videos that were confiscated? Yeah, that was with the Pentagon. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not even sure if those would have filmed the plane hitting the Pentagon. I'm not even sure if it would. But they confiscated all of it around it. But they said it was protocol to do that. Yeah, I know. A plane hit the Empire State Building back in the 40s, right around, I think, towards the end, right at the end of World War II, maybe, like maybe 1946. It was a very, very small plane. Next debate must be on Fox. I think that could be the problem. Trump could want it on Fox, and she's going to say no, and then they're not going to agree to it. Trump has leverage on the network since Kamala wants another debate. Well, I mean, Trump should have leverage on the network because we just saw the debate on a liberal network, so you'd think they'd do a conservative one. You think Sagar and Crystal Ball? You think Breaking Points should host it? I mean, they'd be better than whatever this was. How did the South Tower collapse first? If the North Tower was, it's the way it got hit. It got hit at an angle towards its one side. The North Tower was a straight shot dead into it. The South Tower got hit lower and at an angle, so there was more weight collapsing onto the one side rather than it being evenly distributed. So that's why it fell first. And you can see there's HD video of the tower bending in. The tower bending in on the South Tower. The wall bends in, and it just collapses. Sagar is barely a Republican. Well, I think a lot of people say that. With the problem is like if with politics now, if you don't agree 100% with a certain thing, then you're not a Republican anymore. I feel like, it's like people are not going to agree on every Republican thing. Could we have more Titanic videos or Ocean Gate? I mean, I don't really think anything's going on with Ocean Gate, honestly. Titanic is always a topic to talk about, though. If I find maybe if I find an interesting new thing about it, Titanic 2. How the hell did Atta's most rookie men hit the Pentagon? That was the craziest thing out of anything. How they were able to get the plane at that speed, that low, perfectly aligned to where it doesn't skid on the pavement or on the grass or whatever to hit the Pentagon. I mean, that it is crazy. But I mean, listen, I think planes are very hard to navigate, but once you get like they're not meant to be cracked. The planes, the way they're designed, obviously they're user friendly. They're like cars. So once you get used to it, you're going to be able to fly the thing. It's not like this insurmountable thing that people can't do. But it is surprising that they were able to do that. PBS, I mean, I think PBS is left wing now, I believe. Andrew, what's up, man? Biden joining the Trump super team. Hilarious. The fuel was running down the fuel was leaking down the elevator shafts. Get me on the Titanic too. I mean, maybe I'll be 150 years old when that thing gets going. I don't know. I don't think Clive Palmer's gonna make it. More Republicans are split than Democrats who agree on everything. Well, I mean, Democrats definitely agree on. I mean, both sides are very tribal, if we're being honest. But there are Democrats who they love Palestine, and there's others who support Israel, so that's something they don't agree on. You remember watching it happen in your first grade classroom? Wow. There was one guy on flight 175 who knew that the plane would crash into some buildings. When he saw the Twin Towers, he said, "Oh my." He knew it like when it was happening, he said it was going to happen. Well, there was a previous plot to crash planes into towers. It's called the Bojanka plot. You seen a miss? Well, actually, you can tell that it is a plane. I mean, it is a plane. You can tell from the security footage, even though it's shitty. It's been upscaled. You can tell. Any October surprise predictions? There's going to be a lot of stuff on Harris. I mean, someone said like something with Willie Brown maybe, but I think there's going to be stuff with her and how badly she treats her employees and things like that. People that work on her team. They're gonna have to have stuff. Yeah, I heard about Mr. Beast being invited onto that. But that dude probably Stockton Rush, I think, or whatever. He probably invited a bunch of people. It said that Democrats and Republicans cannot work as a team. Well, that's for sure. I mean, it's more polarizing than ever, more polarized than ever. The deck rails, I think called bow, fell off the. Oh, at the bottom, yeah, it's been slowly collapsing. It's a very slow collapse with the Titanic. It's like disintegrating. Why was airport security so bad in 2001? Well, we didn't have really any major airport security because there were at that point there was really no reason to. Nothing bad had happened, which I guess is why you have security so nothing bad happens. But that's just what it was. Will you be doing a January 6th special live stream? Dude, if Trump loses the election, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do one of those. January 6th. Well, listen, if Trump wins, he'll be going into the White House in 2 weeks after that. Remember the Access Hollywood tape? Yeah, but you have to understand if they had anything like that on Trump, it already would have been used in 2020. They don't have anything left on Trump. Unless they make up with something with an AI voice. Watch the pilot episode of Watchmen on YouTube. It's a failed attempt of flying a plane into the towers. Remember Watchmen, the failed like supervillain movie or whatever? I don't know if it was a failed movie, but why didn't ABC talk about crooks? Because they're trying to silence that because it makes people feel bad for Trump. Yeah, it was Stockton Rush. That's right. That dude, he was probably asking everyone that's big to try and get on it because he was doing like a job. Like he would take people down there that were really rich and he would make money off of it. But they could only do like I think two voyages, two journeys a month or one journey a month or something like that. But it is crazy, dude. I just wonder if there was even any because obviously it happened in a millisecond, so it's over. Like, I mean, it's over so quickly. There's no pain or anything like that. But I just wonder if they even knew something was wrong or not. Like, I wonder if they're like, all right, something's wrong, something bad's gonna happen, or if it would just happen like randomly, like they're all just minding their own business and then it's over. They might recover the small statue from the first class lounge. Yeah, I know. There's been a big battle with whether or not they should recover stuff. I wish they would just explore, but dude, there's nothing even to explore anymore. The ship is so overrun with those bacteria that eat away at the wood. I mean, all the wood's obviously gone, but did you see the Shannon Sharp? Yeah, I did see that. That was an interesting little video. Trump versus Hillary election map. It was just Trump winning basically every swing state. That's what the election map was, Trump versus Hillary, because he got to 306. Every major swing state Trump won against Hillary. Because I don't think Minnesota or Virginia is that big of a swing state right now. What are the odds Harris goes on Fox now? Trump has the leverage. Maybe they're better than we think, but I don't think they're very good. But who knows? Maybe it's changed a little bit. Do you think there will be a revenge assassination attempt on Harris? I do not know. Yeah, we talked about Biden wearing the Trump hat. The old dude's got him to put it on. It was a pretty funny moment. One must admit, if Trump wins, then it's going to get crazy like we've never seen before. Well, I mean, I think we always say it's going to get crazy and stuff. But obviously, I do wonder what they'll do if Trump wins. Jonestown massacre. It is interesting. Yeah, that massacre is very interesting with the spiked Kool Aid. I've seen photos, aerial photos of it. It's pretty crazy. Have you seen those TikTok lives where there's two people on each side of the screen cheering on Trump or Harris? Yeah, that does seem like something TikTok. I haven't seen that, but I have seen things where they ask for money and stuff and they dance around and things like that. Thoughts on Kamala's earrings being sound mics? Look them up online. Yeah, I thought that was proven to be fake. It was funny though, but I don't know. That someone said they got community noted or something. Thoughts on Clay Travis? Yeah, he's like the college football guy that's politics now. I think he's got a Republican radio. He does Republican radio. I mean, I think he's a Republican influencer. That's pretty much it. Normally with those Republican, I normally don't like, oh, I'm a big fan of. I mean, I do like certain people. I guess I think Clay Travis is fine. But I've never been like a huge fan of Daily Wire or anything like that. Do you think the SAVE Act will get passed, or would the government shut it down? Well, that is the question. I think the Republicans need to be ironclad on that for sure. And if it shuts it down, then that just goes to show you. I mean, it's proof that they want illegals voting, or there's something wrong with it. Did you see Krasenstein Soyman saying eating animals was? I mean, that's what they're all saying. They're just repeating what the liberal spin is. I mean, they hate. There are cultures that will do that for sure. It doesn't surprise me. Have you been making bets? I haven't really been betting much now. All right, who wants me to react to that video? I don't know if people actually want me to react to it or not. I mean, it's hard to react to a video like that. It's like an hour long. Dan Bongino, he you know what? He did good work with the assassination attempt. Clay Travis is a grifter. Well, I mean, pretty much every conservative gets accused of being a grifter, though. I mean, at this point, so it's kind of like, I don't know, man. I feel like every political influencer gets accused of that. Am I wrong? Too long. React to the Shannon Sharp. I don't even know if I can play that right now. React, don't do it. Which video? Yes, please react. I mean, this is just pathetic. This is mixed signals. We gotta clean up the chat, man. But I'll take a look at it, I guess. Oh wow, this must be a big. This must be very. I mean, this got 2.7 million views in 3 days.
It's never about, in the game of golf, just one thing. In Golf Galaxy, we are your team.
We have the fitting bays, we have the TrackMan. When you come in, we want to equip you with the right apparel, the right footwear. We have everything that you can.
Dude, this thing doesn't even work. YouTube has done something to where that doesn't work. Listen, if this is boring, I'll stop reacting to it. I'll do it, and then if it's boring, I'll stop reacting to it. Yeah, I know. It is supposed to be entertaining, so.
I think that...
yes or no question.
An hour 30? How much ad revenue are they making off of this?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they
Assigned male at birth? So people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
So what do you say in some cases women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers.
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing a fetus in her womb?
That was actually the best point somebody made.
It's not about the cells.
No,
it's not about... No, I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking. No, I'm
We're both
speaking. No,
bunch
I'm
of cells,
speaking.
okay?
No, I'm speaking. No, I'm speaking.
Want to say it one more time?
No, I'm speaking.
Hello, everyone. I am Charlie
Oh
Kirk,
my
founder
God,
of Turning
I
Point
don't know,
USA,
man.
and I am surrounded by 20 woke college kids. My first prompt is, abortion is murder and should be illegal.
What is this? What in the hell? All right.
Can I maybe go?
Why did they just rush
Okay,
up?
hello, what's your
Hi,
name?
Juliana.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet
Can we
you.
get our terms right first?
Yeah.
Okay, abortion is the forcible ending of the viability of a being in utero, otherwise known as a fetus. Do we agree that's what abortion is?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. And then murder is the intentional taking of life, different
This
than
is gonna be
killing
technical
or
shit, man.
sudden death. So
This type
murder
of
would
stuff is
be
not
the
entertaining.
with intent taking another life. Do we agree with that?
Okay.
Okay, and then we agree that murder in general in society should be illegal.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So yeah, no, I do want to preface that I'm a Catholic.
Okay.
So I think one really important
gets
thing
20
that
minutes?
the Bible says is to not judge. And just going back to the topic, I think there's a big difference between, cells in utero than a living, breathing, existing being. And while I do believe it's murder, and that's just my personal belief, right? I don't believe in telling people what to do with their bodies. That's not up to me, and it's not up to us as well as Christians
But-
to judge.
Should we prevent murder in society?
For sure, yeah.
Then it should be illegal.
But I think that it's really different, right? Because, these people aren't.
Sorry, nice to meet you.
She barely even said anything. Wait, they didn't give her a chance to say anything.
Okay, what's your name?
Whoa.
Naima.
Nice to meet you.
Okay, can I just ask, at how many weeks do you think that a fetus is viable?
Well, viability and moral worth are two different things.
No, but I'm asking you, at how many weeks do
Well,
you think
at
a
about
fetus
20
is viable?
weeks, a baby can survive outside of utero.
So it's actually 24 to 26
Well, it's
weeks?
20. The youngest ever in a NICU unit actually happened in San Diego, not far from here, and survived at 20 weeks.
Okay, so under Roe v. Wade, 93% of abortions happened in the first 13 weeks of pregnancy. That's 93% of the abortions happened well before a fetus is technically viable
For
as
sure.
a form
so
of life.
Let's go into viability. So what is it about, let's say, a 6-week baby that has a heartbeat, its own DNA, fingerprint, brain waves, that is less moral worth than an 88-year-old right now with dementia in a home down the street? that person requires assistance, requires help. Why is it that the 6-week baby is of less moral worth?
Well, first of all, it's not a baby, it's a fetus.
Well, what does fetus mean?
A fetus is in utero.
What does fetus mean in Latin?
What the f? I'm sorry, is this a language class?
It means little human being.
Ooh, his smile is very creepy. Okay.
Smiling is creepy?
No, your smile specifically.
Got it.
But let's go back to, we're losing track here.
No, but what species is the fetus?
The fetus is not a species yet. It's technically classified as a parasite until it is viable.
So,
now, I want to talk to you about something very quickly.
I can't let you get past that. Are you saying a baby is a disease or a tumor?
A parasite is not a disease and a tumor. Those are not the same thing. A parasite is defined as something that cannot survive outside of its host. A baby, before it is viable.
Dude, I'm going to need better mods. I need better mods or something.
Cannot survive outside of a woman's womb.
Got it. So let's extrapolate that.
It is not a living organism.
Are old people with Alzheimer's and dementia that are being assisted every day, are they parasites?
No, they're not parasites. They're human beings who are on the brink of death.
Got it. So they're
not going to be able to survive.
4-month-old that requires mom's breast milk and requires daily changes and feedings cannot survive without its own. Is my 4-month-old a parasite?
Your baby can breathe on its own. Your baby can drink water from its mouth to its stomach.
But it cannot.
Your baby can
But it couldn't, and now it can because you didn't kill it.
Hunt? Can it gather? Can it reason?
But that's not what qualifies something as being a living organism. Being a living organism simply means, can you survive outside?
But I don't understand this argument. Nothing could survive until we let it come into the world. Everyone started as the same thing. You don't randomly spawn in. Yeah, I will add. Listen, I will add you. You seem like a good dude. I'll add you as a standard.
Of a womb outside of your host.
Got it. So I just want to make sure I'm clear. Why does that then equate to moral viability?
It equates to scientific viability.
Why? Under what standard?
Because it is not alive, and you are advocating for the rights of something that is not technically a life.
Got it. So what is something
while
that has
sacrificing the needs of the human woman who is alive.
Got it. So, but a mom can survive.
Yes.
Without the baby in her.
Uh-huh.
Right?
Yes.
The baby cannot survive without the mom.
Yes.
But a mom cannot survive without her lungs. So it's not her body, it's in her body. It's not her DNA, so it's not her choice. So it's
It actually is directly her DNA.
It
is 100%. It's 50% of her DNA.
Half her DNA.
But how does the world the viewpoint makes no sense.
Gonna win, I'm telling you. This could take a while.
The hair
first of all,
do we have our terms correct? We agree?
Actually, no. So first of all, I would like to refine our terms. I have 2 points to bring up after that, though. So you define murder as like intentionally like killing a human being.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a very poor way to define murder, because if someone were to like break into my home and point a gun at the heads of me and everybody I love, and I intentionally kill them to prevent them from killing my family, I don't think I murdered them, right? So I would define murder as the unjustified termination of a human life.
You're making a good point. Let me further clarify that. So self-defense is very warranted.
Exactly, right?
But I can see where you're going to go with how that has to go with abortion, but we can go down that journey in a second.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I kind of do want to give you my argument insofar as why I'm pro-choice, why I think it's justified.
Mm-hmm.
But first, I think that, your position is quite absurd, right? Because you're saying that it is murder to kill a human being at any point of development, especially when it's in the mother's womb. My question to you would be, well, does this make women with IUDs murderers? Because it is the case that in some scenarios, an IUD will allow for conception to occur, meaning there's a unique human life there, but it will prevent...
Right, but see how they have to go at lengths to argue all these weird things, it just doesn't make any sense.
Implantation, intentionally killing it.
Well, no, preventing implantation is not necessarily the same thing as terminating a fertilized egg. For example, if you take Plan B, again, it's not the same thing. Preventing the production of progesterone is not the same thing as terminating a being that has been fertilized. You do not know for a fact that the egg has been fertilized. You do not know that when you have an IUD.
Okay, yeah, so preventing fertilization or implantation to the uterine lining is killing a conceived zygote. So what happens? A sperm goes into the egg, right? The egg becomes fertilized. It's a conceived zygote. In some cases, it will prevent the implantation of the conceived zygote, killing the conceived zygote.
In some cases, correct.
So what do you say in some cases, women with IUDs are murderers?
Of course not, they're not murderers. We do not know for a case. That's like saying that
So what's the difference between an IUD killing a conceived zygote and like a mother going to Planned Parenthood and killing the fetus in her womb?
Well, so you're asking two separate things.
I do want to see this. Let me just see this.
Okay. So if you had a daughter and she was 10 and she got raped.
Oh my God.
And she was going to give birth and she would, and she was going to give birth and she was going to live. Would you want her to go through that and carry her baby?
That's awfully graphic.
But it's a real life scenario that happens to many people.
The answer is yes, the baby.
Well, that is an outlier scenario. That's 1 in a million, or at least 1 in 1,000.
Would be delivered.
Oh, okay, great. So that's insane.
But let me tell you why. No, hold on. Let me ask you a question. There's 2 ultrasounds I have. One is a baby conceived in. One is a baby conceived by a loving couple. Which one is which?
Your daughter was hopefully conceived by a somewhat loving couple.
Conceived by? Tell me which one was conceived by.
You don't know.
Exactly, because it's all human rights and it's all human beings.
But that doesn't matter. It's about your daughter who has to give birth to it and is going to be tortured by that for the rest of her life. That's going to take away every freedom she's ever going to have. That's going to ruin her life. She's going to grow up and she's going to be attached to another thing.
The point is how you were conceived is irrelevant. What human rights you get. But hold on 1 second. If a person conceived in walks down the side of the street, it's not like they don't get First Amendment rights or Second Amendment rights.
It's not about that person.
The worst thing to do to the daughter is to then say, hey, we're going to go murder the being inside of you.
They wouldn't even know. Like, listen.
They wouldn't know?
Listen.
But wouldn't it be a better story to say something evil happened and we do something good in the face of evil instead of saying we're going to do evil and then murder the being because we're going to pander to the evil? No. What makes the West great is that we do good after evil, not evil after evil.
It's not about the being in the cells. It's not about. No. I'm speaking. No, 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 I'm speaking.
Kamala Harris.
So it's not. I'm not talking about.
An inspiration.
I'm talking about the person. No. I'm talking about the person who is dealing with the pregnancy. I am not talking about the cells. I don't care. No, listen. The fetus, the whatever. I don't care about that right now until it is formed. If there is a 5-year-old child who is pregnant and the baby is 2 weeks in utero,
can't get pregnant.
Actually, they
See, this is the thing that you lose the argument when you talk about this. This is the basically almost impossible scenario.
And they have given birth. There is, yes.
Right, but he should just say you're arguing something that's happened like one time in history, so you lose the debate.
There is one recorded case of a 5-year-old girl who gave birth.
Is that common?
Yes, it's common. 5-year-olds get sometimes, and if they get pregnant, I think they should be able to have medical access to something that could save not only just their life, but like their livelihood.
Something that never happens, though.
I'm curious.
I hope your daughter lives a very happy life and gets away from you.
Okay, so
whoa,
that is really nasty. And
he's like, that was really nasty.
Her belief system, just so we're clear, is that.
The time's up.
Yeah, no, I got it. It's fine. I mean, it's insanely nasty, and we'll talk again. My next claim is that college is a scam.
Yeah, don't let her go up again.
Hello.
What's your name?
I'm Maddox. How are you doing?
The peace boy go up.
So, college is a scam.
Well, let's define our terms. College being traditional four-year college.
Of course.
University, not community college or technical college.
Of course.
A scam, if we can agree on a definition, is where a majority of people who will go through the institution or business,
there's an idea.
they're not getting their money's worth, their time's worth, and they're being deceived when they sign up. So do we agree on those terms?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
Well, what would further definitions, what do you think is the purpose of going to college?
The purpose of college should be a traditional liberal arts education, the pursuit of what is good, true, and beautiful.
Okay.
That's not what it is. It should be the betterment of yourself and your soul, nurturing your character and becoming a better citizen, understanding the deeper things in life. At the very least, though, it should be preparing one for the job market. Do you think college does those things?
I think it does, but I would add on to your point that I think not only is it for the betterment of yourself, but it's for the betterment of society. We need historians. We need certain majors that may not make as much money. I think those are for the betterment of society. Would you agree that there's some majors that may not make money, but are still essential to society.
It depends. Do you think that getting a degree in gender studies is good for society?
I would agree, yeah. Why would studying gender not be good for society?
Well, learning that men can give birth is not exactly a good use of time, is it?
Is that what they're teaching in college right now?
A lot of colleges, yeah. According to the Center for Disease Control, they no longer say women can give birth. They say birthing persons.
Okay.
Do you think men can give birth?
Do I think men can give birth? I think that...
yes or no question?
I think that a person who is assigned male at birth, I don't think they can give birth.
Assigned male at birth? So people are not male at birth?
I think that a person...
See, your evidence that college is a scam, my friend.
College
Red
is a scam.
flag.
You're lacking
Red
in a lot
Well,
of
here,
wisdom.
we can continue right now. So, gender studies, do you think that studying gender is not essential? Should we not deepen our understanding
well, first of all,
of
I don't think gender...
I'm confused.
We're going to get there later. I don't think gender exists. I think that there are two sexes, infinite personalities, and no genders. However, let's get back to the core contention.
Well, here, can I ask my
Scam.
question again real quick?
Well,
why do you think...
I'm going to get back to my core contention. A scam. So the majority of kids that go to college, if they end up getting a job at all, they end up getting a job.
College is very hard. I mean, kids go and they, especially if you have student debt like 40 or 50K, the problem is that you start at the bottom. So even when you go to the job force or you use your degree, you're going to start making 40 or 50K and you've got to live off of that. And you've got the 40K in student debt. It's a
That
mess.
doesn't require a college degree.
Do you think that certain jobs that may not associate with a direct major can incorporate skills that you learn from a major? I think I'm an econ major, and depending on what job I do in the future, I can still use the skills learned from that.
So tell me about Milton Friedman.
Tell me about Milton Friedman. He is an economist from...
How about Thomas Sowell?
Thomas Sowell.
Make them turn on each
Ludwig
other,
von
I
Mises.
guess.
Ludwig. Well, I will say that I'm a
This is brain rot. I mean, I know, but I don't know how it has 3 million views.
We will get there later.
Look at his jeans.
That's what psychedelics are for. Who's next?
Yeah, if you do need college for
well, I think it's difficult to think about just one major, thinking about just gender studies. Like, sure, like not everyone should be a gender studies major. We need doctors, we need lawyers, we need everything. However, why does it matter if 10 people want to be a gender studies major and it matters to them? Like, not everyone can be a lawyer, not everyone can be a doctor. There needs to be some people, and you know what? Yeah, it sucks that some people do go to college and get a degree and then they end up not in a workforce for that. But I don't think that has to do with like college was a scam. It's more like maybe that just wasn't the path for them, or that life choice was just too hard to get for them. But some people are able to go to college and get a degree and use it, and that is super important, because imagine if no doctors went to college, they're just like, I think I can do it.
Well, of course, doctors and lawyers need credentialing, right? But
so college.
Well, less than 5% of all people that go to college end up studying medicine or in legal. The vast majority go into soft social sciences, communications, or the humanities. So you're in college, or have been, is that correct?
Yeah.
Are you forced to take classes that you think are a waste of time?
Yeah, I'm forced. You know what?
Hold on. So they're taking your money and they're forcing you that they're a waste of time. That's kind of scammy, right?
Oh, I think that some classes.
Ooh, some. So you have to probably go in debt, right?
Depends.
Okay. Are you going into debt?
No.
Okay. Well, that's good.
I picked a school that actually offered me a scholarship.
Oh, so someone else is paying for your college.
Oh, I don't know. Depends on me. I mean, that was a school that wanted to give me